I saw this is just a quick movie review, actually.
Okay.
I saw the documentary "Won't You Be My Neighbor."
Okay.
Yeah, it was the documentary about Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Childhood show.
Child rapist.
No.
Oh, the other Mr. Rogers. Okay.
So, very heartfelt documentary. It's available. Pretty much most theaters have it now, I think.
Yeah.
My local indie theater had it, exclusive rights to it for a couple weeks. So I finally got to sit down and watch it because it was a huge hit at my indie theater. Like pretty much every show was like sold out for like 2 weeks. So I finally waited to see a late night showing that wasn't busy, and it was a real treat. And the thing is, I'm not someone. I watched Mr. Rogers as a kid, but I didn't watch it that much. Like it didn't have that impact on me that I'm sure it had on a lot of adults.
I loved it as a kid. I mean, I was all about that Rogers.
Yeah?
I loved that Puppet Town. Like, just a quick tangent. I have, like, a real soft spot. Like, I don't know what it is, but I really love, like, miniature towns. I don't like, like when, that section in Epcot in Germany with the little trains and stuff. I always go through and, like, look through there and stuff. I don't know why, but I just love tiny little like toy towns and stuff, so I love that shit as a yep. So I was a big Mr. Rogers fan. They call us Rogers heads, and
I thought it was cool. And I think the timing for me was good watching it because I've been recently getting involved in children education more because of my volunteer work. I haven't really had any interaction with kids at all lately because I've been working for a bar for years, both my jobs, and I don't really talk or even deal with child education, and it just made me think about how kids are talked to and what is good entertainment for kids.
Yeah.
Should we just show them mindless garbage?
Yeah.
Or should we have something that has an actual message for them? I always argue there's a balance to it, but Mr. Rogers definitely was a really good at being genuine, which is something that's not really, you don't see that too often anymore. And I think it's really difficult to be that way, but with the world we're in now of social media and constant eye on people. But I really feel like that he was an actual person of real integrity and honesty and actually wanting childhood education and all that. Because I feel like by now something would have leaked out if he actually was like a complete scumbag.
Oh no, I mean he's supposedly one of the like nicest, best guys that around.
Yeah,
like nobody's ever had anything but amazing things to say about him.
They even showed a scene where I didn't even know about this, where
don't spoil anything, so I'm probably gonna go see it later.
Well, it's not a spoiler. I mean,
don't spoil. All right, what is it?
where Congress,
does he die at the end?
Congress is going to pull funding for PBS, and Mr. Rogers' statement was the one that led them to change their mind about it. And it was just funny because he's just sitting there talking to the congressman and just the same Mr. Rogers tone and just explaining a song. He's like, let me tell you about this song. And you want to make fun of the guy, but like you listen to what he's saying and it sounds so cheesy, but everything he says is like true and like correct. And it's just, I recommend it to anybody out there. And
I'll probably go see it tonight.
Great thing about it,
I want to see a movie.
So many documentaries just push. It's gonna sound like I'm getting like in a political tangent, but like every documentary and I was nervous it was gonna do this because every documentary I feel like nowadays has to like push their own like political agenda where they're just like, and nowadays this is what's going on in the world, and they like show like our politics right now and stuff, and they like show. We had no idea that like they kind of do that at certain points, and like it's a little cringe, but they didn't go all the way with it where they show like. Where you'll see like reflections of what's going on and what's going on back then. They're like, well, now we're dealing with this, and who knows? Look how progressive we were back then, and now look at the world now. And they kind of dipped their toes into that, but they didn't go off the deep end with it. And it was only an hour and a half long, and it didn't even tell you how he died, which I thought was great.
Yeah,
I think that's really respectful.
How'd he die?
I don't know. So there you go.
I think he just died of old age.
Yeah, probably. So.
Guy was making that show for like 50 years.
It talks about everything you expected to, the origins and the impact he had on people, and how he was towards the end. And just a look at childhood education as a whole, and it raised. I think a good documentary shouldn't be preachy, but it should just help. It just should just raise questions, and it made me think.
Yeah,
a lot more. So,
yeah, I might go see it tonight.
I recommend it.
Yeah, cool. So real quick, favorite season of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? Go.
I didn't watch Mr. Rogers as a kid. I barely watched it. I was told by my mom recently that, like, when I went to my grandma's house, we were only allowed to watch Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers. My mom didn't like Mr. Rogers.
No?
She said that she thought the puppets were cheesy, and, like, she didn't like the look of it.
Well, I don't think she was the core demographic.
You're right. When I was watching the documentary, I just went, this is really cool. Like, that would have been really cool to watch that as a kid. I almost want to, like, if and when I have a child, I want to go through some episodes and, like, pick out some to have my child.
Well, that's
watch.
what I was saying. Is that was the part that I liked, is the puppet stuff.
No, it's really cool. There's, like, an innocence to that, and, like, he makes a good point where he's just like, you can say so much more with the puppet than you can as, like, an actual, like, adult man.
Yeah.
There's some messages that just don't come across to kids as easily unless it's coming from, like, a object like that.
Yeah. So, are you allowed to tell your story, the Mr. Rogers story?
What Mr. Rogers story are you talking about?
You were at a movie theater recently at a Mr. Rogers screening. Celebrity there.
Oh, God. Sure, I'll talk about it.
All right.
Mr. Rogers' grandson was there.
Uh-huh.
At one of the earlier showings of the movie. I won't name the theater that he was at, but he was at one of the earlier showings of this movie, and he came as a guest. Guy was a fucking little shit.
Yeah.
Little shithead. Didn't seem to care at all, like, that what he was there for. Honestly, why are you there? Well, first of all, I guess I can't put too much on the blame of the kid, because why does he need to be there? Why, like...
Yeah.
If I was Mr. Rogers' grandson, like, hey, can you come out to the showings and stuff? And, like, let's just say, like, why? Like, maybe, like, hey, guys, I'm related to him. Like, no. He was texting the entire movie.
Okay.
And I'm not even talking just texting. He was Snapchatting during the movie.
Ugh.
And multiple times he was asked to put his phone away, and he refused to put his phone away. And finally, like, towards the end, he finally put it away. And it's just like, that was just such a clear image of where, like,
where society
is now, or it's just like, he can't even, like, take an hour and a half to, like, let alone on your own personal time seeing the movie. That's one thing. Yeah, be a douchebag on your own time, but when you're there representing that as a guest, you're representing your family. You're an ambassador for your family. I mean, that's the impression they have on your entire family when you're there like that, and you just don't give a shit.
Yeah, and it's also just bizarre, the juxtaposition of Mr. Rogers' movie where it's all about teaching kids values and stuff, and then his own fucking grandson is sitting there being a prick to everyone else in the theater.
Yeah, people are having to complain about him.
Yeah.
The point where a management had to be called to talk to him.
How old was he?
He's just like...
Yeah. So...
early 20s, late... maybe if he wasn't 20, maybe 19 or 20, but, like, young.
Yeah. Wow.
But still, I don't care. Like...
Well, I'm just curious how much time he had to get some of that wisdom from his granddad.
He didn't get any of it, apparently.
Yeah.
So...
All right, well...
Yeah.
You got anything else for us? Because I'm
out. Are you dry?
Yeah, you used one of mine, so...
Oh, I used it. Oh,
yeah, you stole it. You stole my topic.
That's my PlayStation. Topic. I think I'm actually running dry, too. I think that we're going to call it with that one.
Fine. All right. Well, if you made it this far, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. Gracias. Please subscribe on YouTube and Google Play, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and all that other shit. And honestly, if you made it this far, I'm confused as to why you wouldn't subscribe. You put up with 45 minutes of us babbling like fools.
feel free to tweet at us and let us know if you have any topics that you want us to go over.
Yeah. Tweet at us. Send me
troll at us. I don't care.
Send me a letter. With some Q&A topics or whatever you want us to talk about. We're gonna listen and we're gonna talk about it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
You know, it's 1 + 1. So, yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.